Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the STEM activity of the day. I'm Tanya, and today we are going to create our own Zipline Toy Transporter. So we are going to need some very simple materials for this. Now, to transport our toys using a string, and people consider a zip line, we're going to be using gravity to move our transporter. Last time I used a zip line, I used a propeller. This time we are just going to allow gravity to move our item along our string here. Now if you can see, the string is right here. It's a fishnet string. It's hooked up to that side of the wall, and it comes all the way down on an angle down to this point of this dresser here, or this little shelf here. So very simple items that we're going to use, but this is an inspiration type of activity. What I want you to do is go out around your home, look for items that you can create your very own transporter with. This is just to inspire you. You don't have to do it how I do it. You can make it your own. Do some research, learn about gravity, learn the angles, right? And what I really want you to pay particular attention to is how to stop your zip line. I'm not going to do that for this activity, but there are some pretty cool ways that people in real world have to construct some device that slows down, because gravity will continue until it stops, until an impact occurs. So you have to be able to slow it down, or there's going to be complete destruction, right? So find out how you can stop your transporter and implement that into your design. I'm going to show you how I create mine. So let's get into it. These are the materials I'm using. First, we're going to need something to hold our toy as it travels down our line. Then we're going to need some string. You can use some string. You can construct it based with some craft sticks. You don't have to use string. You can use one of those little lock hooks. You can use that. But you have to have a way of connecting your bucket, your crate, your bin, or whatever you're using to transport your toy in. You need a way for it to connect to your string. So your fishnet, if you're using fishnet like me. So I'm gonna use shoestring that I had lying around the house. You're gonna need some tape. I'm using a pipe cleaner to connect it, to connect my bin here to my line to actually transport it down. You do not have to use a pipe cleaner. Again, these are items that I had around the house that I was able to grab and think about, would this be useful in constructing my transporter? And I say yes, so I grabbed it. So, and you can also use a tissue paper roll or a paper towel roll as a method of sliding your toy down. So that may be an option. Instead of using a pipe cleaner, use a roll. And so I had this one. I just wanted to show you that was an option. So we have all that, and this is what I'm using as my toy. You can use any type, use a rock, but I'm going to show you using this because there's something I discovered using my string and something of this size, which I think is really cool and very important when transporting something, especially using gravity. So what I'm going to do is, I have this bin here, and this bin has already slots. It's already slotted. There's already ways of me to run my string through my bins. Now if you don't have a way to already within your bin, you can always put a hole in your bin if it's allowed. You can tape it, you can glue it, you can tie it. You could probably tie the string around it and tape the string that way. I was able to quickly find this, so lucky me, right? So I'm just gonna draw my string through the bend, and I want to make it even as possible. So I want to try to get it in the center of my bend. All right, so now that I have it through, I'm gonna test and see if it's balanced. There we go. It looks balanced to me. I can move it around. It seems like it returns back to the center no matter what. So that shows me that it's balanced. Now, I'm gonna see what is the, where should I tie the string at? Now, I'm not gonna use the highest point of my zip line. I'm gonna consider the lowest point of my zip line, because if I have this too long, not only is it unstable, but it's also going to kind of travel along the ground. And you can also do this outside, which is a great outdoor activity, especially now it's getting cold, but it's fall and it's really beautiful outside. Try to consider creating one of these outdoors, and maybe you can even find a way of transporting some yard leaves from one side of the yard to the other side. Just a suggestion. So I'm going to consider the lowest point. That's my lowest point right there. So I'm going to tie it off here. Okay, now with using the pipe cleaner, the reason why I chose a pipe cleaner is because it's easy to place and it's easy to remove. So I can switch out my buckets and my bins as many times as I want, especially using something that's easy to place on and remove. So maybe that's something to consider. Unlike a roll, you have to feed it through the line, and then you have to remove it if it gets damaged. So something that you can easily put on and remove. Those little lock hooks is a great one. You can just lock it on and allow it to transport that way. So that's a good one also. So with this, let's do this. Really, really quick inspirational activity. Again, I want you to go out and make it your own. Okay, here we go. You want to try to get it to the center. Make sure it's not in the way. All right, so now why I chose this size to represent my toy. I chose this size because once I put it in the bin, what you're immediately going to find out is that it's going to become unstable. See? It's going to immediately become unstable. But with the string, it has a way of kind of holding down that toy, or what I'm representing as a toy. So that's something you should consider also, is keeping your item stable. Maybe placing some craft paper, some packing paper around it, because you don't want to increase the weight of your bin. You just don't want your item moving and having the potential to fall out as it's being transported. So I thought that was really interesting when I was testing this out, to see that the item is going to move, and you need a way of securing that item in the bin as much as you need a way of securing that bin to the string, then the pipe cleaner to the rope. So it all has to be secured. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to wrap it around. Now you don't have to wrap it tight because it's going to travel, right? So create a way of a small hole, but it has to be secured. Okay? Okay. Alright, so let's put that in there. That looks pretty secure to me. So I'm gonna start it up here. Now gravity is definitely, and the weight of the item is definitely gonna play a part on the end result. I may actually still have some dragging with my transporter, but let's just take a look here. I need more angle. So let's see here. Let's give ourselves some more angle, because we need for it to move at a pace where it doesn't have a chance of tipping. So I'm going to put it here instead. Alright, so I got the camera in position for you to see me test out our transporter. So what I've done while the camera was off, I ended up tying my shoestring a little bit higher up, because once it completed its transport, it started to drag a little bit with the weight of that our toy. So I retied it, made it closer to the string, just so when that gravity and that weight comes into play, it's not dragging at the end. So let's try it out. Alright, here it goes. A good pace. It may not even make it all the way down. Well, you actually can't even see it anymore. It's past the camera. So as you can see, it was a really good pace of moving, and I contribute that to the angle of my string. So that's something that you need to consider when you're setting up your zip line itself, is the angle. Do you want it too steep? Let's try to, I'm gonna put some weight towards the middle of it to try to make it more steeper. Uh-oh, let's get it balanced here. Woo, you see? It's already taken off. Alright, so the angle is a little bit steeper. Here we go. There we go. It flies down. So, something to consider. Also, the weight of the item that you're transporting, something to consider. And also your bin itself. So, I hope you give this activity a try, and I hope you do it outside, because there's more room outside. So I hope you have fun with it. Thank you for joining me on the STEM activity of the day. See you later. Hello, welcome back to the STEM activity of the day. So today we are going to learn about symmetry. So this is a very easy activity to prepare for, and it requires some creativity and a little bit of thinking outside the box on learning symmetry. So what you're going to need are some construction paper, printer paper, notebook paper, some type of paper, scissors, and something to write, draw, or whatever with. I'm going to use my pencil to draw my symmetrical figures on my craft paper. So to get started, we're going to fold our paper in half. We're not going to use the whole sheet of paper because that's not going to achieve our goal. We're going to fold in half. Now you can use it as this size, or you can tear this in half and use a size like this. This is what I'm going to use. Now, I'm going to show you exactly how to jump right into it. So let's do it. We're going to fold our paper, our half of sheet of paper in half, to now that we see a fourth of our original paper. Now, to create our symmetrical figures, we're going to draw half of our figure on one side of the folded sheet of paper. Now, I'm going to pick a heart. So, let's draw a heart. Half of a heart. not the whole heart. So this is how I drew my heart, my half of heart. Here we go. Now super simple. We're gonna take those scissors that we got. Here we are. And if we did it right, we will see a whole heart once we cut our drawing out. So follow the line that you created. All right, now when we open this up, we should see one whole heart. Here we go. Now this is just one example of symmetry that you can create. You can do any figures that you want. Here I have a unknown figure. Call it a splot. Here we go. Unknown. But when I open it up, I'm going to have the exact same copy or mirror image as the half. You can create any figure that you want to create. See what we get here. Here we go. Something that you can decorate also for the holidays. You can try that out also. Here we go. So look around your environment, see things that are symmetrical, and try to create it yourself using some craft paper, a pencil, and some scissors. So thank you for joining me.